NoDQ.com.
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 The people that know more about me know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Whether it's the NoDQ Galaxy, the Jeff Meacham Network, the ATW Crew, Indie Force, or anything related to For the Win Productions, the gears of wrestling keep on turning, and we are here to give our thoughts, previews, and predictions. Good day to you all, and welcome to our panel for this week's Simply Predicting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, across the pond and here locally in the States, as we look to see who will climb and grab the ultimate prize towards the most precious opportunity, and a few pounds as well, as we go across the pond to Money in the Bank. With that being said, without further ado, let's freaking go. This is Simply Predicting Money in the Bank. So hello, everybody. Welcome once again to The Simple Brand. You know what this is, for I am the simple man of The Simple Brand and the voice of the JMN, and my name is Noel Foster. And please welcome tonight's distinguished panel of prediction givers. We got the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams, we got Dwayne Atkinson, we got Christopher Ross, NoDQ Galaxy MVP, and we got good old JM Jeff Mother and Meacham, of course, here. Gentlemen, it's good to see all of you. Welcome once again to Simply Predicting. I want to give a quick shout out to the entire Simply Predicting family for those that aren't here, of course, but always are welcome here. Shout out to everybody who's here in the chat early. Ratnick, Emmanuel, thank you all for tuning in. To anybody tuning in, please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And if you can, please super chat at Cast18 Studios if you want to dictate the conversation. Super chat, it's as simple as that. Let's go around and get everybody's initial thoughts before we get into this thing. JJ, it's good to see you once again here on Simply Predicting. How you feeling about Money in the Bank?
Well, first of all, Noah, it's good to be seen. Thank you very much for having me, as always. You know, I feel like I'm going to say this a lot this evening, so bear with me. But when it comes to my feelings about Money in the Bank this year, I'm kind of Harvey Dent on the situation. I'm a man of two minds.
Can't be trusted.
On the one hand, you've got the Money in the Bank aspect, and a lot of the people that are in the matches are there for their first time and very much have the show-stealing elements. And then there's matches that on paper, at least, I'm just like, really? Why? Just kind of scratching my head. It's like, you know, who's booking this mess? And even though we're all supposed to believe that a certain, you know, VKM doesn't have his hands in the cookie jar anymore, and no, I'm not talking about the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Oh, we didn't know.
There's quite a few things going on with this show that make me wonder if he still is a little bit deeper in the cookie jar than we're supposed to believe he is.
That's a fair take. And again, you almost feel like there's a conflict of interest or a battle for power, and it's not even Survivor Series seasons yet. Maybe it won't be War Games this year. Maybe it'll be literally a direction of authority on the line. Who knows? That being said, we'll see if Money in the Bank does dictate the direction for somebody that deserves it and hasn't had the chance to really show it. That being said, Wayne Atkinson, good to see you once again. How you feeling about Money in the Bank?
Kind of agree with JJ a little bit, but excuse me, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the last pay-per-view that was ran under Vince before he retired. Am I right? So we got SummerSlam after this one. So we shall see exactly what kind of influence Vince really does have on this one. You know, I agree. Certain people deserve it. Certain people don't. We just depending on what creative direction they've got going with some of these people. I'm like, you know, in the middle. I'm probably going with about a 6 as far as, you know, how excited I am. And I love Money in the Bank. It's like one of my top favorite matches of all time. So we shall see.
Well, with the women having 100% cash in, Ray and the men right now really needing that guy to really use the opportunity to the fullest of their advantage and seize it as well. I'm very optimistic to hope that this is the year that happens. That being said, Jeff, it's so good to see you once again on City Predicting, my friend. How you feeling about Money in the Bank?
Get on the horn and call somebody. It's a Hall of Fame weekend, kids. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
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 We can only hope that is the outcome of that match, but I think we all need to be a little more realistic and temper expectations, and we'll get there. As far as the weekend goes, I do want to mention JJ and I we had the same news at the same time on chat. So respect and grievances and prayers to the family and friends of Darren Drozdoff, and it's just one of those, man, talk about getting dealt a bad hand. Just had the potential, all the potential in the world, and just got dealt a bad hand, like I said. And let me also give a shout out to everybody as far as D'Lo Brown is concerned. Yes, Droz never blamed D'Lo for what happened. It's professional wrestling, it's sports entertainment. Accidents like that happen, but D'Lo has carried this with him for almost 25 years, and it's just one of those things where it's been with him ever since. And now that Droz has passed, I'm sure the trolls are going to come out of the woodwork and go after D'Lo. I saw a couple of them on Twitter. I had to immediately just go, okay, let's pull a Noah Foster and not be on the Twitter on the way home from a already bad day at work. So exactly. So, but as far as Money in the Bank goes, I am ready for this show. More ready for it now than I was at the beginning because I get to be a part of the presentation tomorrow. So I'm here for it, guys. Let's go.
All right, well, let's freaking go. And before we get into that, always enthusiastic, always happy to be a part of All Things Wrestling. Might as well make him a part of my ATW family. Christopher Rotz, good to see you. Longtime supporter of the Championship Network and No DQ. How you feel about Money in the Bank, bro?
I'm feeling good about this premium live event. I'm hearing we're going to get like a big upset, some surprise returns. I'm hearing everything, but I can't wait to get into the predictions. Good luck to everybody that is competing tomorrow at Money in the Bank in the Predictions League. And I want to give a shout out to Tim Tobin. Happy early birthday, bro.
Respect. Gabriel, good to see you. And again, folks, let your predictions be known. Your opinions matter too. The forum will be all across my Twitter. It'll be across my community tab. It will be after this video is through in the comments down below too. Shout out to the over 30 of you that's put them in, including but not limited to members of Team NoDQ, like the new normal Jerry Slaughter and Big G, who's always happy to be here. Rocco, DJW, Charlene, among many others. I see a lot of polarizing results. So, gentlemen, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, again, this is Money in the Bank, and we are going across the pond. So, I'm very curious to see if we will get some sort of international surprises and some upsets. Maybe we'll get, the return of the Bruiserweight, not Oliver Twist's casting. Sam, give a quick thought, though, about Droz. Everyone, did you know? Well, yes, we learned that there was a 10-bell salute earlier. Thank you for that acknowledgement, Sam. As far as the, details regarding the passing, we don't necessarily share that on the air out of respect, nor do we know fully to an extent yet. And to anybody that tries to blame any party part of this, you're wrong. Simple as that. All right, let's go ahead and get right into this. So we got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 match. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we got 7 matches here. We got 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, an Intercontinental Championship, filler match, pun intended. Women's tag team titles, not the Women's World Championships. We'll talk more about that later. And the biggest story happened in WWE for the last, probably in the business history, the Bloodline Civil War. And clearly it's Roman Reigns, so of course we're going to save it for the main event because I know I'll get chewed out by the internet and by Virtue, so there you go. Hello, Virtue. Go check out the No DQ review, folks. Let's go ahead and, yes, Jeff?
Before you start, by the way, the match we were talking about right before we went on the air, apparently that's allegedly going to be the main event.
Wait.
Can we say angle alert, boys and girls? Saying.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of foreshadowing, to say the least, for
we'll get
our
there.
undisputed WWE Universal Champion and company. So yeah, that'll be definitely our last talking point. Let's go ahead and kick things off with, man, this is an odd card. When I look at this card, I'm like, okay, what do you do? What's the hottest start you could give in the UK? Or what's the biggest suspension of disbelief that you could give? Because it's Money in the Bank, and usually Money in the Bank ladder matches have suspension of disbelief for the matches that follow. I don't necessarily want to start off with one of those, but I almost feel like they're going to kick off with one of them. But I'm not. I'm actually going to kick off with this one because I think that this should be a good way to kick off the show because I used to remember this as the opener on Premium Live Events pay-per-views. So here we go. The third time ever singles encounter. It is the original Matt Riddle taking on the Ling General and the current Intercontinental Champion, Gunther. This all stands with the fact that lately Gunther has been assaulting Riddle and vice versa, assaulting Imperium, Giovanni Vinci, and Ludwig Kaiser. We've also seen Matt Riddle, of course, tag alongside Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in trios action and also helping them when it comes to preserving the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. They're also not on the line, LOL, but I digress. And of course, the simple rule here is that Gunther is here to protect this sport, bring honor back to it, for the mat is sacred. That being said, let's go around the horn and get everybody's thoughts. Jeff, let's kick off with you with this one. What's your thoughts with Gunther and Matt Riddle's third singles encounter, first time ever in WWE, for their Intercontinental Championship?
Yeah, I think people are underselling Matt because he's a joke as far as the WWE presentation. Yes, he's a solid grappler, a solid wrestler, a solid fighter. We've seen his work previously outside of WWE and also in the MMA circuit, but people just automatically want to assume, well, Gunther's gonna roll through this guy. Not the case. I think Gunther is going to retain. I still say that they are sending Walter Gunther, whatever you want to call him this week, on a trajectory toward, as JJ would put it, breaking the honky-tonky meter. But it's going to be more competitive than I think we're giving Matt Riddle credit for. It's going to be a fun, possible opener. I still think they should open with a Money in the Bank match because they're not going to close the Money in the Bank match. I mean, that's just not going to happen this year. With the Bloodline storyline as the predominant story, but also with the report that came out today about Cody and Dominic being the main event. Again, red alert, angle alert. Yeah, exactly. I still say that this should be a solid match. At worst, middle of the card. But either way, I'm picking Gunther to retain the Intercontinental Championship, however he gets it done, and he will continue on into levels only reached by Honky Tonk Man all those years ago.
Oh, fair enough. And a quick note here again, folks, you want to stick to the conversation at Cat Staging Studios, particularly on YouTube.
Yes.
Chat, it's as simple as that. And we got a little bit of a stretch goal here to influence you. If we make $50 in super chats here, Jeff and JJ will sing "You're Gonna Pay," The Undertaker's theme, Dead Man Walking. But I digress. So again, encourage your friends, encourage your own investment, and become part of the fun in super chat. Speaking of which, since we talked to one dad, let's talk to the other dad, not always on wrestling. JJ, your thoughts on this Intercontinental Championship match? I feel it's a foregone conclusion that we believe that Gunther should break the Honky Tonk record. In order to do that, he needs to retain here. And he's already retained against the likes of Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, just to name a few. He has been truly what this title's about, a workhorse, one of the most predominant workhorses in recent WWE memory. So what's your take on this match?
Well, I definitely have Gunther retaining, but the question is more, how does Riddle lose? Does Riddle lose clean? Do we potentially see a returning Viper that comes to strike at his old partner, his old friend? A lot of people saying that Randy is expected back sooner rather than later, or at least that's the latest news that I've read.
Yes.
Take it for what it's worth.
Right.
It would be very easy to smuggle him in there on a private jet along with a couple of other highbrow officials that aren't all traveling on the main WWE flight.
Right.
So do we have something like that outcome to maybe lead to Riddle versus Orton at SummerSlam. I feel like there's a lot more questions in how Riddle loses than rather Gunther Walter is going to win.
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. Again, what did Matt Riddle want to address Randy Orton as, Dwayne? His quote unquote best friend. You don't make best friends with a snake, let alone a viper. And people have been waiting for the longest time. Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle. With SummerSlam around the horizon, that's a marquee match that very well could happen if he shows up out of nowhere. But that aside, what's your thoughts on this Intercontinental Championship match, and do you see Gunther retaining?
Quick question, guys. What was Jake the Snake Roberts' famous quote?
I'm a snake.
Trust me.
Never trust a snake.
Oh,
Never
okay.
trust a snake.
So one of his favorites, anyway. I don't foresee him being there personally. Everybody's delving too far into it. They've already got hints of one return coming. I don't think they're going to go all out with another one. I see possibly maybe Monday Night Raw if they're in London. I don't know exactly where they're going to be at. But, I'm kind of torn into how he's going to lose as well. I picked Gunther. I mean, Gunther to me is like Roman Reigns. Until he goes on a losing streak, I ain't never going to bet against him. But he's not losing the title before he breaks Honky Tonk record. I don't see no reason to it whatsoever. And for what it's worth, whoever beats him needs to be somebody that's an up and comer that's just going to shoot them up to the next level, so to speak. It don't need to be somebody like Cody Rhodes or someone like that that's already up there. It needs to be somebody that can be distinguished into a mid-carder with the workhorse champion. I'll just go ahead and make this bold prediction. Gunther's going to win with the help of Imperium.
Do you think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will show up too then?
It's possible. You never know. It could be. In fact, I'll do one even better. Gunther's going to retain the title, but it could be like a DQ finish.
Build another six-man tag, although Kevin Owens versus Gunther doesn't.
We don't need another one.
That doesn't mean they won't do it. Playa.
Nope.
This is WWE we're talking about here.
Holla.
There you go. Teddy Long, where you at, brother? Anyway.
That was the whitest Teddy Long I ever did. Wow, that was real. Anyway, carry on, kids.
That was awesome. They'll be pleased when you are done. Chris, it is almost unanimous that everybody picked Gunther out of the 36. I think one person was smoke whatever he's smoking, but 97% went with Gunther. So where do you stand, Chris?
Well, on the forum, I picked Gunther to retain, and I'm sticking to Gunther. Personally, I don't see Matt Riddle gain this upset victory. Is not going to happen in this match. You guys were talking about new upcoming stars that could dethrone Gunther. We could see maybe Braun Breaker dethroning Gunther. We could see Ilya Dragunov. We could see even JD Madonna. Those are three new upcoming stars that I could see dethroning Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. But I know you guys are been saying about Randy Orton's return. If Randy is there tomorrow, I feel Imperium is going to attack Matt Riddle after the match, and that is how Randy Orton is going to return. And potentially, we're thinking about Randy Orton versus Matt Riddle. That could happen at SummerSlam, but I'm looking at the bigger picture. I think we could see the Ring General Gunther take on Randy Orton for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam.
Well, he's a former Intercontinental Champion in his own right, so I mean, that'd be a way to really, add another notch to the incredible dominance of the Ring General. And you did bring JD McDonough up. Of course, JD McDonough and Walter have history going back to Scrappermania at Over the Top Wrestling. They've only had one actual on-air encounter in WWE, but multiple encounters during the UK house tour of NXT UK was a thing. So, again, it's entirely possible. All right, good solid stuff. And by the way, I agree with all of you. I do believe that Gunther will retain too, for the Mott is sacred. But I do think this is going to be a very game contest on both sides. And the, as we politely call him, the Meltzer of the multiverse is here, Josh Mansfield. Please follow Cleveland Combatant, folks. Read his latest columns. And he also agrees with all of us. He is also with the Ring General. All right. Good deal. Well, after the freaking news that you told me, I'm like, what the eep? Because Roman Reigns is not the main event.
Well, you have to remember they're probably going to have a very predominant beastly involvement at the end of this Premium Live event if Cody's in the last match. So
that's fair, I guess, because okay, what's more dangerous, a pissed off tribal chief or an enraged beast incarnate? You tell me. That being said, I'm just saying. That being said, let's go ahead and switch things up because I want to try and balance the men-women's action, despite the fact there's more men action than women's action, as per usual. LOL. But JJ, you wanted to kick things off with this one, so here we go. Because the women's tag team championships are on the line. The undisputed women's tag team champions are on the line as Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defend the gold against Liv Morgan, returning Liv Morgan, good to see her back from injury, and Raquel Rodriguez. I'm not saying anything else. JJ, what do you think about this women's tag team title match, and who do you have?
For starters, I hope everyone has their popcorn and their tasty beverages handy. Just don't be drinking during this diatribe because you may end up spewing your liquid out over your computers.
This is brought to you by Mountain Dew Passion Fruit.
And also Zero Sugar Gatorade.
The following diatribe is not necessarily endorsed by or co-signed by the Jeff Beacham Network, but more than likely will be anyway.
So
let him talk to you.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Let him talk, guys. Jesus.
I want to know why the fuck this match exists in the first place. This match right here has had me pissed off for about the last month because of the fact that they announced the unification match between Ronda and Shayna versus Alba and Isla was going to be on a random SmackDown when they should have booked that at this international UK pay-per-view. Considering the fact that both Alba and Isla are from the greater UK area. So right there, from jump, I've had an issue with this match. And then you factor in the fact that Liv Morgan comes back. And as much as I was in favor of Liv last year, winning the briefcase, cashing it in, pinning Ronda Rousey to finally become women's champion, I'm like, so you took the straps off of Isla and Alba, instead of giving them this grand moment, just so you can hotshot a Liv Morgan return. A company that's well known for pushing people to come back sooner than they're ready. Right, Bryan Danielson? Right, CM Punk? Stop me when I'm telling lies. Unfortunately, I see this match ending much like last year's Money in the Bank did. Liv Morgan pinning Ronda Rousey, reclaiming the championships that they were never supposed to lose yet in the first place. I do feel that at some point down the road, Ronda and Shayna were going to get the straps. I feel like they got them quicker than they were supposed to because of Liv's injury. They're going to course correct. They're going to string it along. They'll have a series of matches. You know, maybe they'll do something at the Garden. leading up to SummerSlam in Detroit, or Payback, aptly titled. And that's where the resolution of this will all be. But unfortunately, and it pains me to say it, and I'm kind of glad my girlfriend isn't here right now, because she would be bitch slapping me for saying, I see what popped up, Noah. Let's not get distracted.
You're good. Focus.
My girlfriend would be bitch slapping me for saying that Liv Morgan would defeat Ronda Rousey again. But I'm calling it.
I just wanted to make sure we got the full diffusal there. That's why I gave it a good 5 cents. Before I let somebody else, we got a super chat here, courtesy of Statboy. Please follow the Sports Bar course with your bar keeps, of course, Statboy Mikey and Dory Lou. $50 ding, 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 ding. There it is. So at the end, folks, stay tuned for an impromptu rendition by the Dancing Always on Wrestling of Undertakers. You're going to pay, courtesy of Michael Cadwell. Thank you so much for that super chat. All right. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, the Renegade JJ Williams.
And let me just say before you move on, thank you, Mikey. Appreciate that.
There we go.
And we're only going to do that song together if JJ does it in that voice that he does that song. Does for that song.
Absolutely will.
Okay.
And make sure, Statboy is on hiatus this week for 4th of July. So make sure everyone comes back to Statboy Sports Bar on the 11th of July when the sports bar reopens for business.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay, Dwayne. So we have one so far for a brand new tag team champions. While the majority do believe that the champs will retain, what is your take on this women's tag team title match? And could this maybe be the turning point that Raquel loses her smile?
I think so. No disrespect out of this match. I don't give two shits about it. I really don't give two shits who wins. The income, though, I don't think we're getting new tag team champions just yet. From what I'm hearing, they're talking about taking it down to NXT and let Ronda and them defend it down there. So I don't know. Don't care personally, but if push comes to shove, I want to see I want to see Raquel turn on Liv at some point in this match. They should have stuck a rocket to her a long time ago. But yet they keep putting her in these freaking tag team matches. I don't know. We shall see.
All right, simple enough. We're 1-1 so far on this panel. Chris, where do you stand? Do you think Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler challenging anybody in NXT for these titles is the way to go to finally engage a worthwhile, must-see women's tag team division in WWE? Is this the last hope?
Well, I'm keeping this short and sweet. In the forum, I have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler to retain, and I'm sticking to that because there's plans in the place to have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler go to NXT down the road, and I do see Ronda Rousey appearing in NXT soon. But with Raquel, I feel in a way her smile is going to be totally gone. And personally, I do believe we're going to see at SummerSlam Raquel Rodriguez challenging Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at SummerSlam. I do see that taking place. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler is going to dominate and retain the tag team champions.
Okay. Yep, you know I saved you last. You and I are advocates for women's wrestling. Damn it. But I digress. We talk about all the time, respect women in wrestling. Damn it. But I digress. You've worked in the business booking women's wrestling. Damn it. But I digress. So, verbatim, you've already broke down the history of women's tag team wrestling WWE. Damn it. But I digress on open mic night. So where do you stand with this women's tag title match?
Do you digress? Okay. No. Anyway.
Yes. Damn it.
That was tremendous. Okay. So I do think that the Ronda and Shane are going to retain. That's been my thought process the whole way through, going around the circle here. But I disagree with everybody that it's going to, or not everybody, because JJ, picked new champions. I disagree that it's going to be Raquel, the one that turns. I think Liv is going to go out there and being a little snit for having to drop the titles and then having Raquel just move right on and team with somebody else to try to get them back. And, Liv had potential as a solo heel, as a singles heel when she was working for Ronda last year. They weren't really seeming to be pushing for that internally, at least what they were trying to do on television, because Ronda's the heel. There's no doubt about that. But people kind of soured on Liv, and she seemed to be kind of like leaning into it last year. Don't just lean into it, girl. Kick that door down. I think the champs retain here, and I think that Raquel's going to try to put up the proverbial stiff upper lip and be a smiley girl about it, and then Liv's just going to kick her freaking head off.
Yes.
Here's the problem that I have with Ronda and Shayna as the tag champions.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they pulled the trigger either way too late or way too soon, depending on how you want to look at it. There is no team in the women's tag division that realistically would be believable defeating them.
Right.
So you need to get the straps off of them some way, some shape, some form, somehow, in order to build up a team that actually can feud with and have believable, holy shit, they can win it matches with the 2.5 tag teams the WWE has in their women's division.
Right.
And therein lies the problem. Everyone in the chat keeps saying Ronda and Shayna want to feud with each other once they lose the titles. So lose the titles.
Well,
let them run a feud that can lead from now up through WrestleMania with the big blow off. I think the two of them could have a substantial run, especially if Ronda starts being a little bit more Brock-esque and doing part-time.
Right.
And you give a team that could actually be there and have legitimate matches with women that could believably defeat them to try to raise the stakes of this division that probably at this point shouldn't exist in the first fucking place.
That's a fair take. Right
This
there.
is the other reason why I was so peeved that Alba and Isla lost.
Yes.
Because Alba and Isla having matches with Katana and Kaden, having matches with Liv and Raquel, having matches with Natty and whichever one of the women they decide to team her up with this random week.
Right. He's not wrong there.
I know he's not.
Believable matches. Nobody in the division right now realistically would be viable as a believable contender to Ronda and Shayna, except the former champions that lost because of Liv's injury.
Right. So
that's how I keep coming back to this, and I know it's an unpopular take. I know a lot of people don't agree with my take. I'm seeing the chat room light up with everyone going for Team MMA. And had this team existed when Sasha and Bayley were a thing, maybe when Damage Control was first starting out and Ronda wasn't having to be women's champion that she didn't want to be, this could have been a lot harder of a discussion point, I think, for me. The Iconics.
Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started.
Here's where I give you that wrench to work with, then, Jay. WWE booking, whether it's Hunter or Vince, when they turn a tag team against each other, one of them has to be the babyface. That's just the way they do it because they're idiots.
Mhm.
Even Hunter, to be fair. How do you make Ronda or Shayna a sympathetic babyface to go against the other as a heel? It's not going to happen right now. Ronda is so shit on by the public, and Shayna's not sympathetic. She's a certified badass.
Exactly.
So how do you pull that off, breaking them up and having them run a feud, and then have that feud go to WrestleMania in the process from now?
You have Shayna be the one that turns. Because
Okay.
the fact that she turns on Ronda will get her a huge pop. Because
Okay.
Ronda is so vile in the public's eyes.
So Shayna dropping Ronda
while people would generally boo the person that turns,
Mhm.
because Shayna is getting out of Ronda's shadow, everyone would pop like crazy for her. And Josh, it may be an unpopular take, but stop me where I'm telling lies.
He's not. For the longest time since this entire thing's been established,
And I
there has not
and
been
I
a
wanna-
foundation for it.
And I want to piggyback on something Dwayne said real quick, and then we can move on for this match, since I know a lot of people really could care less about it because of the way it's been booked.
Right.
I 1000% agree with you, Dwayne, that they should have pulled the trigger on Raquel a long time ago.
Yeah.
I've been pulling for Raquel for the longest time. I thought she should have won the Rumble.
Yep.
Not this year, but I think it was last year I was calling for it. I thought she should have won Money in the Bank last year.
Yep.
Because I've been saying on just about every forum that I've been on, while she was champion, I know she's lost it now.
Right.
Raquel versus Bianca was the money match. See if Bianca truly was the strongest when you're having to contend with someone as strong as Raquel.
Yep.
I've been saying it for the longest time, and they
Yeah.
just seem to have missed the boat with her. And TikTok, Karrion Kross style, if they don't pull the trigger tomorrow, they might end up missing the boat with one LA Knight. Yeah.
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 Dummy. Yeah.
When I say dummy, you say yeah. Dummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pipe down, dummies. I was talking to myself. Dummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dummy. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Enough of that.
What?
Dummy yeah chat going on in the chat. But I will say this in conclusion, as we do have a great segue to our next match. Respect and define women's tag team wrestling right, damn it. But I digress, like Impact Wrestling does. All right, so let's go ahead and move on from there now to, since we talked about it, let's talk to you about the reason this show exists in the first daggone place. Damn it. Let's go ahead and talk about the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And here is your field. We have Ricochet. We have, okay, I'm just going to say it real quick. Everyone can say it with me. You got the megastar. You got the guy that you should put on the gravy train with him. You got L.A. Knight. Yeah. All right, that was beautiful.
Pretty good. Actually, that's pretty good.
You got Santos Escobar. You got Logan Paul. You got Damian Priest. You got Butch Pete Dunne. And you got Shinsuke Nakamura. 6 of these men, of course, all qualified for this match. And Logan Paul put himself in because, well, he is a social media influence. I still call him a viral disease, but I digress. All right. Well, that being said, as we all know, men's Money in the Bank, not the greatest track record with recent winners lately, if you ask me, when it comes to the prestige of the case, the importance of holding it, and the proper way of executing it. But I digress. Now, in these matches, as always, per the no DQ way, we have 2 picks. You have your primary worth 2 points. You have your secondary worth 1 point. So, as we go around the horn, because I always like to have different people lead these matches. Dwayne, you're kicking things off on this one. So, who are your 2 picks for this year's men's Money in the Bank?
Again, it's been brought up. A huge upset's coming. Whether it be this match, I don't know. We don't know what kind of upset it's going to be. I have a feeling, though, somebody is getting taken out of this match and is going to be replaced by somebody. Could it be Pete Dunne coming back? Probably not, since it's the UK. I could see probably Shinsuke or Ricochet getting taken out with a possible returning Drew McIntyre. Don't know. That's not my prediction. That's just a guess on my part.
Fair.
For me, just going by who's in the match, I really and truly want to put LA Knight as my top pick. I really do. Unfortunately, they're going too far with it to where I think they're not going to do it with it. I sure as hell am not putting nothing on Logan Paul. I think him, quite frankly, and Ricochet is just there for the highlight reel, personally. We're going to get another one of those flippity-floppy guys going at it again. Possibly set up for a match at SummerSlam. You never know. So, based off who we have, I truly feel they're going to pull the trigger with Damian Priest in this match.
Ooh.
That is my primary pick. I see revelings go on between him and Finn Balor. I think they're going to eventually go and lead to something somewhere down the line. We'll talk about that match later. But we're getting 2 picks, right?
Yeah.
All right, my second pick will go with LA Knight.
All right, then. Well, if it helps you, Chris, believe it or not, the primary pick with 67%, L.A. Knight. Yeah. Speaking of which, Ratnick with 1999 super chat, appreciate it, giving us a good old yeah.
Yes, thank
Appreciate
you very
it,
much,
Ratnick.
Ratnick.
That means the monetized members of the Multiverse of Media are getting paid again. Life is good, kids.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah. It's big yeah, especially after this week. Good grief.
Good grief. The freaking damn it's not the word of the day. It's yeah. But I
Yeah.
digress.
It's not over with yet.
What's that?
And the day's not over with yet.
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's
true.
not.
Neither-
No, it's
neither is
not.
this.
We still got a whole other show, the rest of this show to go. So
Yeah. That being said, Chris, primary pick is LA Knight. Secondary pick is Logan Paul. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's most people's combination at this point. With Damian Priest being involved in Money in the Bank and the leader of Judgment Day challenging for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, those two could kind of go hand in hand as far as the playoff for the future of this faction that really has been on the rise as a mainstay in Monday Night Raw, despite the fact Rhea Ripley's not defending her title. But, Chris, what's your takes on this men's Money in the Bank ladder match?
Personally, this Money in the Bank for the men is looking good. I do hear reports about maybe Drew McIntyre returning. I don't see Drew McIntyre in this Money in the Bank match at all. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna start with my primary pick right now. My primary pick is the guy that I want to talk to you all, you guys, here this evening, and his name is L.A. Knight. Yeah. So I got L.A. Knight. Yeah.
There you go.
Winning bank. And my second pick is I'm going with my second pick. I was supposed to be Damian Priest. I think with Damian Priest, he's going to go on a babyface run, and I think he's going to be game replaced in the Judgment Day, possibly soon. So I don't see Damian Priest winning this. My second pick is Logan Paul. And the reason I pick Logan Paul is I know Triple H is not a fan of Logan Paul winning Money in the Bank, but he's the extra man. And you have to realize this. When there's an extra man, the extra man always wins. And look back 2019, Brock Lesnar, he wasn't in the match, but he won the match. He was an extra guy. Look at Austin Theory last year. He got announced. He won Money in the Bank. Now, the extra man's Logan Paul. I think Logan could win because it will bring more eyes to the company, more eyes to the product. He could go on his talk shows. He could go to award shows. He could go on whatever, ESPN, whatever, to promote that he won Money in the Bank. He could tease cash-ins. He could cash in on the World Heavyweight Championship. He could cash in on the undisputed Universal Champion, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. He could even cash in on Carmelo Hayes' NXT Championship. If Logan Paul wants to go crazy, he could cash in on any wrestling company's championships like the AEW, Impact. We're not going down that far with Logan Paul.
Jeez.
But I think if you give Logan this win, it will bring more eyes to the company. And I would be saying is he could cash it in on Seth freaking Rollins. So I think my two picks, I'm going to keep LA Knight and Logan Paul for Money in the Bank. Yeah.
Are you sure you haven't been watching JJ Williams videos and starting to think like the business versus being a fan? Because I swear you're echoing a summary of what he has been saying verbatim on reviewing on his content. And yeah, Logan Paul and LA Knight, they are primarily, literally interswitched as far as primary and secondary as far as most picks overall. Third pick is Damian Priest. The rest of them, they aren't really giving them a chance. There's a small pick for Ricochet. There's no picks for Shinsuke. There's no pick for Santos. There aren't even picks for Pete Dunne. So, JJ, I don't know if you and Chris all of a sudden have just collabed and have gone to business together, but it sounds like he's literally thinking like you. So unless you have changed in some way, what's your take?
Jay, before you go, I'm going to respond to Josh's comment, even if you do. I still got something to say to that.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Oh,
Well,
no.
Chris'
no.
Chris's hot take is basically, like you said, it's the same thing I've been spewing, but I can't take all the credit for it. Nay. I originally heard that spiel from the man underneath me and you, Noah,
Yeah.
from the West Coast professor, Jeff motherfucking Meacham.
Which is why I saved him last, because he literally has the fascists right next to him.
He
But you
was
digress.
the man who I originally heard talk about Logan Paul winning the briefcase, going on his Impulsive podcast, doing live streams with the briefcase sitting right next to him, much
Yeah.
like Jeff has right now pictured in his window, Which- like Chris said, just brings more publicity and more eyes to the growth of the product. At the end of the day, it's the same thing as Mr. T coming out with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Eyes on the product. Wu-Tang Clan said it best. Cash rules everything around me. Get the money.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I said earlier, LA Knight, I think, is the odds-on favorite to win this.
Yes.
But then we come back to the whole, upset, these major upsets. Priest could end up taking it. And if Finn wins the belt off of Seth, then we've got a Evolution imploding Batista Triple H moment with Damian Priest and Finn Balor being set up down the road. Balor trying to push Priest to cash it in on Roman, where instead he's going to end up cashing it in on Balor once he's officially had enough with his shit. Even going as far as to do the same day cash in and have him cash it in as soon as the match is over, whether Finn wins or not. But I've got LA Knight and I've got Logan Paul. And I can't wait to hear Jeff rip into Josh, as Josh now has his inspiration for
Bro.
his next NoDQ.com column
Bro.
on how LA Knight is overrated.
No. He's
Completely curious to see where
Someone's
this
going to need to go to confession after this one.
right for real.
Oh, Lord. Well, that being said, Jeff, the floor is yours.
Yes. All right. Please put the WCW champion comment up so I can have a visual aid for you. That's right. Grab the popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. Josh, what the fuck?
Oh,
Okay, seriously. Okay, first of all, the comparison does not work with Vince Russo. It's more compatible with the David Arquette scenario. And even then, what was the reason they put the title on David Arquette? Were they not on the front page of US motherfucking A Today the next morning? Yes, they were. Well, Logan Paul,
Yeah.
Mr. Money in the thank you. Yes. Well, Logan Paul being Mr. Money in the Bank, get people a major social talk show type settings on WWE the next day. No. Why? As awesome as it would be for company exposure to have Logan Paul have the WWE logoed briefcase on his podcast, it won't get them the eyes that we're talking about here. So LA Knight is my secondary pick. Logan Paul is my primary pick, but I'm going for a same night cash in, and we get a WrestleMania rematch at SummerSlam between the newly deposed World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and the man who will take it from him thanks to this that night, tomorrow night, Logan Paul, with the pseudo big gold belt on his podcast for the next month and 4 days.
okay then.
I'm jumping ahead in the predictions, and I understand that.
No, I totally get it.
But I, as much as I have said, shouted the rooftops, that having Logan Paul have this on his podcast desk would be eyes on product. It's like, no, having that big gold belt would be everybody's eyes on that, because then we're going to sit here for 35 days going, what the fuck just happened?
Accurate. I know I would be. I'm the one who's calling it.
And
Accurate.
mainstream media and the folks that aren't necessarily watching WWE, but are Logan Paul and Jake Paul fans will go, well, goddamn, now I got to see what's going on over there. So,
All right then.
well, okay. Well, no. I did go off on the comment about Vince Russo because your comparison was bass backwards. It's not Vince Russo to Logan Paul. It's David Arquette to Logan Paul. Vince Russo winning the WCW title did fucking nothing for nobody.
It really did.
In that entire company, except have that ocean liner hit the iceberg faster. That's why JJ and I refuse to rank either Vince McMahon as ECW champion, let us all shudder in solidarity for a second, and Vince Russo as WCW champion as the worst world champions of all time, because they are already on everybody's list anyway.
Verbatim. Verbatim.
Just the drizzling shits of world title reigns. They were even worse than Jinder Mahal as WWE champion. I done said what the hell I said.
What?
Because at least Jinder Mahal is a freaking wrestler.
Damn it.
Not a very credible world champion. I don't give a shit what anybody on that damn Twitter thread said. But
Oh, gosh.
yeah, Logan Paul having that World Heavyweight Championship on his podcast for even for a month. I'll tell you what, if SummerSlam tickets are indeed sluggish sales-wise, that'll help.
Certainly is one way of doing it. We all know how important that big gold belt is. So
Yeah. The World Championship is what stirs the drink on either brand. And as long as Roman is using his 3 different coffee stirrers to stir the SmackDown drink, we got to keep the world title in discussion.
fair point. All right then. Well, either way, this men's Money in the Bank is certainly going to be interesting. You have Logan Paul, LA Knight, and the rest of the field. But Damien Priest, the suspension of disbelief, you know.
I would love it if Priest did. I would love that for Priest.
That'd be crazy.
So high on that dude. Have been. But I just don't see it happening, unfortunately, this year.
Yeah, I look at the rest of this field. The story right now comes to the fact that Logan Paul, he is the guy that's mainstream. And then you got LA Knight, who is the star on the rise, if not already there. So
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Nobody, I think, with the exception of maybe JJ, and I think I'll put myself above him a smidge. Nobody in this room wants Sean Ricker to be a world champion WWE more than me. Okay, just saying. Like, that dude has earned it in spades and clubs and hearts and diamonds.
About to say, just
Son of a
give,
bitch put the belt on him.
just give him the
Ah,
royal.
that's-
Just give him the royal flush.
That's the thing that boggles my mind about Josh's comment about him being overrated, which I think is the comment he thought you were going to go off on.
Oh, trust me, I'll be on that one tomorrow night.
How do you
Lovely.
pinpoint somebody who was chosen by Percy Pringle, better known as Paul Bearer, to be the last client he managed before he passed away as overrated?
Yeah.
Let me ask that. As Jeff goes to get the urn to bring into the shot now, that now blends into the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Oh, it does, because it's so gold. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I see both. All right.
Sorry, Nicky Mash, you got to take a back seat there, buddy.
I was about to say, we know what the priority is this weekend, and the mission is clear, and it will not self-destruct after this briefing. So
Wait.
either way, I'm looking forward to this year's Men's Money in the Bank, and hopefully it goes the right way. And there's only one right way, in my opinion, and that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life.
Only a Sith feels
Yeah.
absolutes, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Well, Chris, you haven't led any matches, but I think Jeff gave you the perfect segue, and we both know how one person in the chat feels about one of these individuals. So maybe you can raise his ire as we talk about what could literally be affected the same night, beyond what's on screen, as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship is on the line by Seth freaking Rollins, defending against Finn Balor, a match 7 years in the making. How's that for long-term storytelling, JJ? So, Chris,
Yeah.
as we know, back in 2016, when the brand split was once again reestablished for the time being, they had to crown a brand new champion on Monday Night Raw because the Shield followed that background, made sure that Dean Ambrose had the WWE Championship for SmackDown. Yes. So the Universal Championship was born in red and black, and we saw the Demon Finn Balor and Seth Rollins contest for it. It involved Finn Balor losing his damn shoulder, but he still won the freaking match. But he lost practically a year of his career out of it. And basically, you figure his momentum, what could have been, was lost for 7 years on an alternative timeline. We saw him go down to NXT. My NXT! Damn it! But I digress. Become the NXT champion for a period of time before Karrion Kross said time was up. We saw him come back to Monday Night Raw, and now he leads the Faction Judgment Day after taking it from Edge, even though the Demon lost at WrestleMania against Brood Edge. Just saying. I wonder if anybody remembers that. And, of course, now we look at where the WWE landscape stands, and Raw now has a predominant championship and champion with no love lost when it comes to Finn Balor's past. When I think about Finn Balor and London, I think about NXT UK, I think about NXT TakeOver London, I think about he challenged Demon one time, I think about he surpassed his student one time. I also think about the longevity of Judgment Day, and maybe the leader ran its course if it doesn't deliver. So, Chris, where do you stand on this WWE World Heavyweight Championship match?
Well, let's give a stat here. The last time Finn Balor was champion in London, he was the Demon facing Samoa Joe at NXT TakeOver London.
Pretty sure it's Kevin Owens, but go ahead.
I think it was Kevin. No, I'm actually thinking about Dallas.
Yeah,
Sorry
you're
about
confusing
that.
the takeovers. Botch.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
But with this match, Josh, don't go there.
You already did.
This is going to be a good match.
Grace.
I feel with Finn Balor has been looking so strong throughout this whole entire feud, and Seth wants to bring out the demon in Finn Balor. And I feel we're seeing a little bit of that, what Seth wanted us to bring out in 2016. Seth wants that Finn Balor back into him, and we have seen it over the past couple of weeks with Finn Balor.
Yep.
But overall, on the forum, I have Seth freaking Rollins. I'm sticking to Seth freaking Rollins retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. And I said this earlier, if Drew McIntyre is there, I could see Seth and Drew McIntyre take place at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship, having Drew McIntyre being a heel. In other reports, I'm actually hearing that we might not get that Seth versus Drew match, but I'm going to save that for another match. So I'm going to say Seth freaking Rollins retains the World Heavyweight Championship, and what I'm going to say, I'll save for another match.
Okay. Well, JJ, you've already seen this title defend now in your NXT successfully against Braun Breaker. Not sure what that means for Braun Breaker going forward. We'll talk more about that later. We talked about the whole idea of the reason the network wanted this championship. They want a predominant face and top prize on their product on the USA Network. You even said that this title, even though it continues a legacy, it's basically a first. It needs longevity. So despite the fact that Jeff might talk about the same night Money in the Bank and goes after you, what's your stand on this match, and how does it affect Finn Balor or Seth Rollins going forward? Do you see a new champion?
I don't see a new champion tonight. I mean, the only way I would see...
You mean tomorrow night?
Okay, you're the one that was over here talking about Finn Balor champion against Samoa Joe in London. It was really Texas. Okay.
Who's the bigger botcher? The winner is Christopher Ross, but I digress. Back to JJ. Beep.
Yeah. So, like I was trying to say, let me remember where I was here.
If you don't see a new champion, ...
Yeah, as much as it would be kind of cool to see a new champion, the only way I see one is if Priest wins Money in the Bank, which I don't see happening. I do feel like this new championship needs to be established, needs to have a decent run, maybe not all the way until WrestleMania, but at least until Rumble or the Chamber, if they're still going to do that as a pay-per-view again next year, before Seth loses it. So I'm going with Seth to retain here.
Okay. Jeff, we saw this title established at Night Champions against AJ Styles. So in that type of defense, it's been, about a full month now, a little bit over that, and he's already had 2 defenses, I believe, with this championship, one on Raw and one on NXT. And literally the one on Raw defensive was against Damian Priest. Are we finally seeing a split within the Judgment Day? How many times have we seen a faction crumble from within over time? Judgment Day has been, in some way or form, literally an established faction since before last year's WrestleMania. It's just been under Finn Balor since last year in June. So, Jeff, where do you stand with this?
Like I said, Seth retains, and Logan Paul cashes in and pisses in all our Kool-Aid as we leave London to go to Baltimore. By the way, Dwayne, Raw's in Baltimore on Monday night, for the record. So, you mentioned where Raw was earlier. Raw's in Baltimore, and SmackDown, of course, is in the Garden, as we at the Casa know.
Daggone right.
There's that. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Seth retains and gets cashed in on by that viral disease that is Logan Paul.
God help my blood pressure.
Right.
Right.
You need your old Monday night that night, brother. At least, man. At least get you this weekend.
At least Money in the Bank's in the afternoon, and I don't have to worry about open mic night immediately right afterwards too. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank the maker for that scheduling part of it, at least.
For once. Well, a majority do believe that Seth Rollins will retain 90%. So Dwayne, where do you stand in all this? Do you have any other circumstance that you could see here? Maybe Damian Priest turns on Finn Balor like Wardlow turned on MJF, or do we still tease that dissension between the two and it usurp within the Judgment Day? Is Finn Balor literally left in the dust courtesy of Logan Paul making a viral moment bigger than Grayson Waller ever could in his NXT career? Where you stand, Dwayne?
The only what if moment I could probably add to this was last night during Aaron's channel. I posted that what if Finn Balor did somehow defeat Seth and then Damian Priest or out the winner of the Money Bank cashed in and won it, his title reign would be even shorter than his first one was.
Yes.
So I don't think they're going to do that to him though, but I'm a Seth Rollins guy. I ain't never going to bet against him one way or another. Seth wins and retains.
Yeah, I kind of agree with all of you here. He is literally the guy on Monday Night Raw. There's a reason why they put the title on him, and he's just starting. I feel it's at least going to be the summer of Seth freaking Rollins, but I can see something give during the fall. They'll set up a big promo for him at SummerSlam, and whether it's against Logan Paul or they do Finn Balor in gimmick True Demon form, because they literally might span this thing out further now that I think about it, I just don't see Seth losing the title right now at Money in the Bank. I see the audience taking over with his song, driving Finn Balor crazy, and at some point, Seth will burn it down and curb stomp. Seth retains. I got Seth. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on here. We got 3 matches left, and since we got rumor has it, I'm going to leave those 2 for last because I still can't believe that one's main. The other one's not. Gasp. So let's go ahead and talk about this because I don't think it should be the curtain jerker, but it's still Money in the Bank. And JJ, you, of course, will take point. As there's not 1 Money in the Bank ladder match we know, but 2. Time for the women, folks. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match, where might I add, is still, right now, at 100% success rate cash-in for women's world championships. I want you to keep that in mind, including one of the very winners of that case that cashed in on the same night, Bayley, dead at center. We also got Selena Vega, who, of course, challenged for Rhea Ripley's title back at Backlash. Becky Lynch has done absolutely everything else possible in WWE except win Money in the Bank. Io Sky is no stranger to climbing ladders. She claimed a briefcase to give her team advantage back at NXT War Games in the black and gold. You have Zoe Stark, who is also no stranger to taking it to extreme heights, as JJ knows from his NXT. But this is her first main roster Money in the Bank ladder match in history. And then, speaking of history, you got the Trailblazer, you got the Legend, who's going to give us some sort of satisfaction in her first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, Trish Stratus. Now, I'm just going to say this real quick before I give it to JJ. 100% success rate. Most winners have been baby faces, except for Carmella and Alexa Bliss. Eventually, in any statistic, no matter what data you collect, something has to give. JJ, your 2 picks on the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Take it away.
Well, if I can ask you to throw the graphic up again real quick, I'm going to try to break each of these down really quickly. I'm not going to try to spend too much time on them all.
Okay.
Zelina Vega, only way she's winning it is if they're doing Backlash in Puerto Rico again. She can cash it there in her home country. Get rid of her. Becky Lynch is only going to win if they're finally going to get rid of the 100% deal. Same thing with Bayley. Trish is going to get it if they, in fact, want to give her one more title run, which brings me down to my number 1 and number 2 picks, respectively. I feel like Bayley and Trish being in this match, both of them mentors of Io and Zoe Stark, respectively, kind of throws the whole game off. It was one thing while Bayley was there, because then we could have had the damage control disintegration, which has been coming for almost a year now. Then the monkey wrench got thrown in there as far as Trish goes.
Yep.
I'm saying Zoe Stark is my number 1. Io Sky is my number 2.
All right, then. I like that a lot. Okay. Dwayne, do you follow similar sentiments? I mean, again, Io Sky, we talk about damage control since the establishment of SummerSlam. Have they been damaged goods for the longest time? And is it damaged beyond repair? And does it finally blow up in front of us? Is this destruction of damage control despite the fact Dakota Kai is on the shelf? get well soon. I feel so bad for her. And again, Zoe Stark just came up to the main roster. She's under a mentorship, it seems, with Trish Stratus. So could it be her big moment, or is it more a learning experience? Is there a bigger agenda for Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus, particularly to maybe stop another individual? Dwayne, where do you stand?
No, I disagree with that 100%. To me, Zoe Stark's in there to help Trish win, I think. I already predicted when they started doing qualified matches that Trish Stratus is already going to be in the match somehow. She's going to weasel her way in, basically. But to me, I can't go against Io. I can't see nobody else who needs it more probably than them. She went a long way. In fact, I think the last time Zoe and Io was ever in a match together with ladders, they both won the tag team titles down at NXT. But they could see a clash. And I don't think we ever got into their little "I don't like you" tag team rivalry they sort of had. But
nope.
I mean, it was cute and all, but they both go in totally different directions. I think if anybody else, they need a breakout star for this one. It's time for Io to climb the ladder of success. And finally, I want to see her and Asuka have a blown feud.
Yes.
So I'm going with Io as my primary pick and Trish as my secondary.
Okay, then. Let's go ahead and take a look at the poll here, Chris. The primary right now is definitely Io Sky. Secondary is Becky. But truth be told, there's other votes here I see for Trish Stratus. And even Selena Vega's got more than Bayley. What does that tell you? But for secondary, it's pretty split among Trish Stratus, Io Sky, and Becky Lynch, which right now are probably the prime free candidates. So, Chris, where do you stand?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
We don't know yet if Becky's going to be in the match till after tonight. Yeah, she still got a match with Shotzi with her spot on the line. So we don't know yet if Becky's even going to be in it.
You mean
You
Bayley?
gotta be kidding me.
I said Becky, I meant Bayley. Yes.
Hush.
Well, first off, that's absolutely bizarre. That screams McMahonism.
They already had that match, I thought, didn't they?
No, it was scheduled for
canceled
last week, and Vinnie Mac decided to change things up a little bit. So word is that it was going to happen tonight.
Okay, well, that aside, let's look at the current picture before my brain explodes and I go into a tangent that goes against what I stand for when it comes to protective mentality. Chris, based on the current field, what are your two picks?
Well, I'm going to go with my primary pick first. My primary pick is Io Sky. I think this is Io's time to climb the ladder of success and win. And personally, they need to pull the trigger on Io versus Asuka feud. I've been ready to see that match and see it happening for the women's championship. I know tonight we're getting Asuka versus Charlotte for the women's championship. I know that match is possibly going to be turned into a triple threat, possibly at SummerSlam with Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca.
Oh, Lord.
Jesus.
But I do feel in a way, I think Io Sky could possibly cash in at SummerSlam, and you have Io Sky maybe winning the women's championship and feuding with Asuka, and that is how Asuka wins the women's championship. And then you could do maybe a Payback, Asuka versus Io Sky for the women's championship, a one-on-one match, where I'm here to announce where I'll be attending WWE Payback in Pittsburgh this year.
Enjoy yourself.
As far as my secondary pick, I'm not going with Trish Stratus, so thank you, Trish. I am not picking you. Selena, I don't really see Selena because they haven't really pushed her that far. Bayley, she's experienced. She's not winning this. My secondary pick is Becky Lynch because she never won the Money in the Bank, and personally, I think Becky would be happy that she won her first Money in the Bank ladder match, and possibly if Becky wins it, she could cash in maybe on Rhea or Asuka, and I think Becky could be the first one to fail her Money in the Bank cash-in attempts, and Trish Stratus costing Becky, and that's how we're going to still get Becky versus Trish at SummerSlam. Or I was thinking you have Trish and Zoe. What about if you have Trish and Zoe team up against Becky Lynch and Lita at SummerSlam in a tag team match in Detroit?
There's no loss lost there, and as far as I know, Lita's been written off as injured, and she admitted she attacked Trish, the best frenemies, of course. I mean, at one point I was fantasy booking generational frenemy match at WrestleMania of a different sort, but that didn't happen. Okay, well, despite the fact that WWE once again is trying to make us all crazy, even Manuel talking about Addis Smith woman. Oh, Lord. Jeff, where do you stand amongst all this? Let's just call it is madness. Because right now it sounds like the women's Money in the Bank might be more than initially anticipated.
I don't think WWE's driving us crazy. I think discussing this match is going to drive me crazy enough. Anyway,
Probably.
oh,
Good Lord Almighty.
Okay, and Josh, I would love Trish to win this. I would, but it's not going to happen. I've really had to go around the horn in my brain about this, and Lord knows I usually don't mind doing that when it comes to women's wrestling because I'm such a advocate for it.
Right.
But the entirety of the booking of the women tonight, tomorrow night rather, is just botchy for days. You've got the tag title match, which shouldn't even exist, and you've got this ladder match for the briefcase for the contract. I'm going to go with my secondary pick being Io just because I want it so bad for her. I really do. But my primary pick is going to be Becky with the proviso that what Mr. Ross here said comes to fruition, that Trish costs Becky on cash-in point, and then we get that inevitable Trish and Zoe versus Becky and the returning, oh, you want to take me out, bitch, Lita.
Take it to
and that'll be your SummerSlam tag team marquee, because I don't think the championships, even with Ronda and Shayna, are elevated enough to be the women's headlining match. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Been what it is when it comes to those titles, but I agree. And next thing you know, they'll probably book the winners of that being the challengers to Ronda and Shayna at Payback. So.
There is no saving you, Joshua. There is only Zool. Anyway,
if you know, you know.
You know, kids. That's right. We're getting to Halloween season anyway. It's almost here. So.
But we're getting close enough. There's something definitely going on here. I don't know if it's adrenaline in my soul, but every thought certainly does seem to be out of control when it comes to our thoughts of this card and women's booking. So what initially feels like a filler match, now that ODQ reportedly has informed us that an angle is going down during this main event. What? I will never hear the end of it if I don't put Roman Reigns the closer, so deal with it. We're talking about this next. Cody Rhodes goes one-on-one against Dominic Mysterio for the first time ever with Mommy in his corner because she's not defending her title. Yeah, let's not talk about that because, again, my brain's already at the point of, So, yeah. Since Cody Rhodes lost to Brock Lesnar via ref stoppage at Night of Champions, he has thrown out the open challenge to Brock Lesnar. Balls in Brock Lesnar court. Whenever, wherever he wants it. You literally might see something towards it tomorrow. Dominic Mysterio is still the guy that grabs all the crowd heat, but at this point, you really wonder, is he just glad to be here? Because why is this happening? Seriously, this just feels so obscure. From daddy issues to, well, I guess Cody Rhodes is a father. It's not his father. I don't really know how to perceive this match besides the fact that this is the bridge point between Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar 3, and that's really all I got to say about that. despite the fact you might have a beast incarnate running rampant in Johnny Old England that's more dangerous than Jack the Ripper, I do think that Cody Rhodes will be declared the winner. And that's really all I got to say about that. So, that being said, JJ, what are your thoughts?
I love Cody Rhodes. I still feel Cody Rhodes will finish his story. I must admit, I'm starting to question whether or not it's going to happen at the Garden, as I've been calling for a while, and I
know you
may have to start believing in Joe Hendry. God fucking help me.
Even Joe Hendry.
But
Even Joe Hendry.
Anyway,
Dominic Mysterio wins, putting a complete and utter halt to Cody's momentum, knocking him down a few more pegs. Dominic Mysterio is arguably the biggest heel in the company that isn't named Roman Reigns right now. Listen to him when he grabs a microphone and stop me when I'm telling lies.
you're not.
Brock doesn't even have to come out there. And I wouldn't book him to, at least not right away. I would have Brock's music hit. I would have Dom roll Cody up for a cheap pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Just the music of Brock Lesnar would be enough to throw Cody off of his game. Then Brock can hit the ring. That's how I would book that.
It'll be the first time.
Because you'd get that faulty pop.
Right. Will be the
That
first
false
time.
sense of security. And then when the crowd's like, Brock isn't actually coming, turn around post-match, onto the shoulders, F5. Maybe he
Just
was
like that.
hiding under the ring the whole time.
Just like that. Off screen. Just like in that triple threat qualifier in the tournament. Just out of nowhere. Cody Rhodes all the momentum. Pull it out. F5 on the floor.
But in doing this, you knock Cody down a few pegs to where, how is he going to finish his story? And you make him more sympathetic in his journey, again, whether or not it happens at the Garden. And it could technically still happen there, even without him holding a briefcase. Because as you're so fond of saying, brand split, LOL.
Right.
And reports are going around that they're done with the brand split anyways, that the whole draft was basically for naught.
Gee, what a shot.
The only thing that came out of the draft that was worth jack diddly shit were the NXT call-ups.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everything
world
else was
title.
pointless at the end of the day.
Oh, just the world title.
No, the Raw.
That's
the world-
debatable if it gets put on Logan Paul to certain people.
Certain people, yeah. And, well,
I'm
so
not saying that I'm opposed to it,
Right.
but certain people will be like, so you just created a title so Logan Paul could have something on his desk?
no, I'll go ahead and go put this back. That way it's ready for the brand split when it's time.
But but yeah, I'm going with Dominic Mysterio.
Okay, then.
And don't forget, Noah, you want to talk about how random this is. This is a battle of second-gen superstars.
That is true.
Both of whom have feuded with Rey Mysterio in
Yeah.
high-profile situations.
I mean, I remember
Both
the
these days are high Hall of Famers too.
Yeah, and I remember the Intercontinental Championship bouts that grotesque Cody Rhodes had with Rey Mysterio. So you're not wrong, and it's a generational battle. And to also echo JJ's point, Jeff, he did use Brock Lesnar's music as false campaign, Paul Heyman. One time, I believe, in the feud with, he talked about telling lies, CM Punk. I mean, because CM Punk, his mind was all over Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar, he picked the time when he was going to pray. It led to one of the best matches still in SummerSlam history. Some people still garner to this day. So that being said, though, to complete the trilogy, but also Cody Rhodes faced further adversity, which seems to be now the narrative for Cody Rhodes' road to finish his story. Jeff, does this just give Dominic even more heat as a cheap win, but a win is a win? Do you see Dominic literally having the goal to now be able to say, I have a win over the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes for weeks on end, and we never hear the end of it?
As much as it pains me to say this on the young man named Rhodes' birthday, happy birthday, by the way, Cody Rhodes.
I say, yeah.
JJ swayed me on this one. I was gung ho to pick Cody, but you might got something there, as Desi Arnaz would say. JJ, I'm gonna hop on the Renegade bandwagon there and agree that Dominic wins here.
Jeez,
I know, I don't like it, but you know what? Dominic has something. I don't know how to define it, but he's got something going. And Cody needs to be knocked down a peg or two because, people seem to think that, he's getting handed this cloak of invincibility, not invisibility, you Harry Potter dorks, which I am one, full disclosure. I think it's intriguing storytelling because then we get like, okay, well, how does he get here? How do we get him to the title? How do we get him to finish the story? And then, with any luck, we do finish the story on Friday, because if we don't, Open Mic Night's going to be a tragic day for young Mr. Williams there. Because he will believe. Hendry.
Yes.
Damn it.
He'll believe in Joe Hendry. Oh, no!
I
He
knew
said
he
his
was
name!
going to bring it up. He's got
He
it
said his
loaded in
name!
there.
He said his name. Say his name and he appears. Continue.
No! Don't want to.
Anyway.
The Joe
Ah.
Hendry graphic on Noah's stream is like Statboy approved. It just randomly comes up because it's always loaded.
Hey, I have up to 100 pictures. I got the room to play with, but I just I don't know how. I don't know, Chris, how the Brock Lesnar angle, because it's going to be an angle. ... I don't know how it's going to be executed during the match, after the match, against one party, against both parties. Dominic Mysterio has more going for him right now than Rhea Ripley. I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah. Huh?
Because Rhea Ripley don't even have a freaking challenger for her title ever since she beat the Queen. Her freaking momentum, her just there. She's just there. Come on. Chris, what are your thoughts on this? I don't know which way to go with this.
Well,
Oh,
I'm smiling right now because I was saving this towards this match.
Oh, crap.
Well, we
Here it
know
comes, guys.
Brock
It's gonna be good.
we know Brock Lesnar is scheduled to be at Money in the Bank. He's going to possibly cost Cody Rhodes the match. Cody Rhodes needs to get up. He's up here. He needs to go down here if he wants to reach to the top again. So, with that being said, this is my upset match. And this is the thing. Yeah, I'm number 9 in the predictions league. And I'm there. And I'm praying to God I could try to win my second straight this year. I am taking a risk since this is Money in the Bank. And you got to take risk at these events. My upset night is I'm going for Dominic Mysterio to defeat Cody Rhodes. And here's why. The reports are going out, and I'm doing a little bit of booking. I am booking SummerSlam. We're not going to get Drew McIntyre facing Seth freaking Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, no.
I'm hearing reports that we are going to get Seth freaking Rollins versus Dominic Mysterio for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. And here's why I say that. that is when we get Seth versus Dom, Seth is going to win the world title and retain, but that is when Drew McIntyre returns at SummerSlam, and that is how we're going to start Seth versus Drew after SummerSlam. So right now, and you know what? I might just put this a lock. I'm locking this in right now. Dominic Mysterio beats Cody Rhodes tomorrow night at Money in the Bank. Stop me when you're telling lies.
All right. Man, look at him booking all the way to Payback. Well, I don't know how many people are watching this, but still, so far, majority are going with Cody. Well, that's worth 70%. But I have seen Dominic Mysterio increase now to 30, so damn it. Hey, WWE. Brock Lesnar. Brock does whatever the hell he wants. And again, Brock picked the fight with Cody. Cody didn't pick the fight with Brock till after the first encounter. Or vice versa. This is just downright confusing. Adversity. Finish the story. Dominic Mysterio on the rise. More than Rhea Ripley. What the hell? All right. Dwayne, what's your thoughts on this? Right now we got Dominic. Majority going with Cody. Are you now with Dominic?
I was for Dominic all along.
Damn it.
But, however,
It's my
I can't add to whatever has been said to this because, even what Chris said was right. I read the same report. However, now the rumor is no longer a fact. This match is main eventing.
Oh, crap.
So,
Oh my God, no one's going to blow a gasket.
anyway, I had a feeling when they booked this match, it was to not only make them look like they're punishing Cody, but they're not. They're raising up Dominic, and he needs it, man. Come on. Like he said, he's about the biggest heel they got right now, not named Roman Reigns. The man needs something to elevate his way up. How he wins, I don't know. I would like to see him win one match without Mommy's help, though. Let him do it on his own. I won't be surprised even if freaking Brady Rhodes showed up and tried to take Rhea out. Probably happy, probably not. Who knows? Wishful thinking, so to speak. But, yeah, I'm definitely going with Dom on this match.
I mean, you mentioned him winning a match without Mommy's help. There's always Mommy getting ejected from ringside. There's always the little throwback that we had just about right after the draft where we had Finn Balor talking backstage to the Irish Ace, JD McDonough,
We're in London.
who could finally join the Judgment Day along with his former mentor. They've been rumored to be beefing up the Judgment Day for a while. This would be a great place to do it in the UK with the addition of the Irish Ace. Then you got somebody much like last year at SummerSlam, Clash of the Castle in London, when we introduced Solo Sikoa to the Bloodline. You introduced JD McDonough to the Judgment Day.
There's too many things that could happen out of this right now that's just downright ballistic, in my opinion. But the fact that this is now the closer, yes.
Did I hear somebody say my rule, the JJ?
Hey, we don't want to get demonetized.
That's why I only played a couple seconds.
Not copyright, damn it, not copyright.
Hey, we're gonna butcher a butchered song as it is later anyway. We might as well get a good one in there.
Oh god, that'll be the day I freaking sing that on the air. There ain't enough money.
We almost got you on that one. You haven't done it yet. We almost got you on that one.
Hey, you ain't getting it. I'll tell you right now, you ain't getting it. All right.
Yeah, we will.
Is there any way we can? Is there a British remix of that somewhere?
We'll figure it out. It out.
Oh Lord, the freaking price of my dignity, and the price of my sanity.
Was Dale Oliver British?
Dale Oliver.
That's right.
Ay.
Look at Chris Phillips. Hey, look at Big
G
G.
just joined the
Hey.
members only section of the Cosmic
Yay.
Studios channel. Thank you very much, Big G. Appreciate that.
There you
Go
go.
figure. He joins the members only section right after you play My World.
That,
It was like it was his calling
I wasn't
card.
gonna say nothing.
don't retract
But-
the membership, JJ. Don't encourage the
I
retract
wasn't
the
gonna
membership.
say
What are you
it out
doing?
loud.
And
Yeah.
and it was a couple days after the new Jarrett shirt released on AEW's website. I'm just saying, gee, you know I love you. You know I'm just giving you crap. They
I
even
feel
put
so
out an Aubrey
bad.
Edwards 1-0 shirt that I know Noah's gonna get.
Hell
No,
yes.
I'm too frugal with money. I'm not going to spend money on anything like that. I barely spend money on anything recreation. And if I was a simple gambling man, I would not gamble on this that we're going to talk about here in a moment. But yes.
Here's what we do. We
No.
play that theme, but have jingle bells behind it for December. Perfect. I got you, Noah. I'm gonna get you.
Damn it. Why am I always at the butt of this? Why am I always at the butt of this?
Jingle bells. It's Jeff Jarrett's world now. There we go. I got it.
Oh my god.
I got you.
Oh gosh.
Dashing through my world.
With a goddess in my sleigh.
We're in the UK. Sing something related to the Beatles for Pete's
Over
sake.
the fields we go.
Oh, trust me,
Aubrey's in our
trust me, I'll be
way.
doing that. I'll be doing that in August. I'll be doing
Yes.
plenty of the Beatles.
Yes.
Help! I need somebody. Anyway, golly.
All you need is love.
No, not copyright. Not copyright.
No, actually sing the whole song.
Although Noah, since we're mixing Christmas stuff, have you heard the Fab Four's Christmas album, the Beatles tribute?
Oh, it's
They
so
took the Beatles melodies and put Christmas lyrics over them. So Help became Hark, the angels sing, Hark, the newborn king, Hark.
Why? Why is this a thing?
That needs to be
Because it
showcased
is.
either in December or in August when our British Invasion karaoke. Either way, that's good shit. But we're off the rails here.
Let's
Well, you know
reel it
what?
back
This is
in.
This is what usually happens. Oh, look, fish! Shout out to Cabela on the Dreamcast. This is what usually happens across the Japanese bunch with me, and that's part of the fun. If nothing else, are people entertained? Because there's been enough talk.
Are you not
It's time for proverbially the biggest story. No, excuse me. The biggest story in WWE, and what I thought was going to be the main event. If you wish to, please, Jeff Meacham Multiverse. Acknowledge him. Because Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa go to war with their own family in a bloodline civil war. Solo Sikoa, the problem solver, and the tribal chief, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, go up in tag team action against who they call themselves now the Ones. Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. The super kick heard around the world just literally a week ago. And immediately following that show, the match was booked. All right, let's be real here. Roman Reigns right now is on God level. I will not deny that. But I wonder where his mentality is at. Is it on the peak of fracturing? Because the problem solver might not be the problem solver anymore based on the result of this match. We've been wondering who could challenge Roman Reigns next for his championships. They aren't being defended at all at Money in the Bank. And truth be told, let's just put it out there, folks. The Money in the Bank winner is not, I repeat, not going to cash in on Roman Reigns nor try to. It is literally a failing effort waiting to happen based on everything right now. So that just leaves suspension of disbelief. Who challenged Roman Reigns at SummerSlam? Why not somebody within his own family? Why not maybe the right-hand man that's been with him since day one-ish, when the Island of Relevancy was established? Why not, for the first time ever I can recall, in one-on-one action? It is not the other brother suspension of disbelief, as we had a fallout with the two, but they still stand together. Something tells me Roman Reigns is defending his titles against his own blood. And it's going to be before Dwayne Johnson, if that ever happens. And for me to see that happen, it has come down to the decision of this proverbial main event, where Sheriff Riff decided to up the ante, because he's crazy, not only do you have to predict the winners of this tag team match, you have to predict who eats the fall in this match. Chris, you're not wearing a shirt, but you always go first when it comes to your tribal chief because you're the biggest acknowledger of him I've ever seen in the Noda Galaxy since Virtue. The floor is yours. Your thoughts on this match, your winner, who eats the fall.
Well, this is the match I've been waiting for to see. When Jay hit the super kick to Roman, it hurt me so much, but overall it had to be done. It had to be done. And in person, the Usos are going to always stick together. This is going to be where my booking comes. This match is going to literally set up SummerSlam for Roman Reigns. We could see Roman versus Jay, Roman versus Jimmy. We could see Roman versus both Jimmy and Jay in a handicap match. We could actually see a Bloodline Civil War Fatal 4-way match, Roman, Solo, Jimmy, and Jay. We could see a 4-way for the Undisputed Universal Championship. And I am hearing a report going out that Jimmy is out of the Bloodline, Jay's out of the Bloodline, so is Solo Sikoa going to be out of the Bloodline. Because there's reports going out that Solo is expected to be leaving Roman Reigns' side soon. And I could see it happening tomorrow. Or it could happen maybe at SummerSlam. Whatever. Maybe we get Roman versus Solo down the road for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And yeah, ever since I came on here, I've been a huge Roman Reigns supporter. I will always be a Roman Reigns guy. I will always acknowledge Roman Reigns at the head of the table. But tomorrow night, I'm going the complete opposite way. Tomorrow night, Roman and Solo, you guys are going to be the twos, but the Usos are the ones that's going to defeat Roman and Solo tomorrow night. And who I have eating the fall is Solo Sikoa. I don't see Roman eating the fall or getting pinned or submitted until he loses the Undisputed Universal Championship. And that is a fact of life. And you guys can stop me. I'm telling the truth. You guys can stop me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, someone might challenge you on that. Oh, boy. Dwayne, the fall person right now, I cannot believe I'm looking at this damn thing. It's nearly a 4-way split, but the majority are actually going with Solo Sikoa, 32%. The second highest up is Jimmy at 26, Roman at 23, Jay at 17. As far as the match result goes, there are more people picking the Usos to win because when it comes to tag team action, whether it's Roman and Sammy, whether it's Roman or Solo, it does not seem to go on Roman Reigns' favor, I've been noticing. So, Dwayne, where do you stand on this Bloodline Civil War? And this is only the first one of many more to come.
This was the match last night that I was saying I may wind up changing, and I'm going to because Chris kind of sold me on that one. I had originally picked Roman and Solo to win because I never thought they'd have them two lose twice. They already lost at Night of Champions. I don't see them probably doing it again, but you know what? No, I do because in order to get to point A and point B, to get to point C, you got to go to point A and point B.
Right.
I think in the long run, the only way this family feud, gets resolved is through a fatal 4-way. I don't see anything less. I'm sure probably Triple H, somebody has got a better creativity than what I have. But in my mind, it needs to be a fatal 4-way, possibly elimination style match, and I would love to see that at SummerSlam. But we'll get to SummerSlam next month. I'm going to change this, and I will change this on the forum. I'm going with the Usos to win, and I'm going way out there and saying Roman's taking the pin.
JJ, you and I did a retro callback of the first time Roman Reigns was ever pinned. It was Monday Night Raw when it was the Shield versus the roster. And who got the pin on Roman? But literally, Jey Uso. And Jey Uso was the first guy to fall in line in the formation of the bloodline. Whether it was by will or by force, that remains your special disbelief after that Red Creative Hate match. JJ, where do you stand in this? You are literally the renegade of relevancy. You are the long-term storyteller. Where do you stand in this bloodline civil war? Could you literally see with the fact that Jey and Roman are on the opposite sides? Jey does it again.
I absolutely do. Let me take you back, gentlemen. It was July 14th, 2013. It was the pre-show match for Money in the Bank. And it was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns of the Shield defending their tag team championships against the Usos. Shield won. Then you throw that little tidbit in that you just brought up, Noah, and the fact that Jey Uso, the man who would become main event Jey Uso, was the first person to physically pin the man who would become the tribal chief in his WWE main roster career. And here we are today. Jey Uso pins Roman Reigns tomorrow to win this match.
All right. Let's see if the dads, not always on wrestling, are on the same page, or is there a counterpoint? Jeff, the floor is yours, my friend. Where do you stand in this bloodline civil war? Does Roman finally eat a fall? Literally. Or does he once again prove why he is the only one you should acknowledge after 1,074 plus days?
The answer to both those questions is yes, but not in the way you're thinking. Roman will indeed show that he is the one. He is the head of the family. He is the head of the table. He is the tribal chief. But in doing that, in proving that point, he will have gone done and pissed off the street champion, who will have him eat a spike to the throat before his brothers lay the fall on the tribal chief. Jey gets the pin, as JJ said, after a reconciliation of the boys Fatu. Wow. And then Roman shall stand alone and be so verklempt going into next week that he storms into the garden and just says, I don't give a damn who it is. I'm fighting somebody. Wrestling has more than one royal family. And that's it. That's how we get there, kids.
Damn. Spearhead the story to truly end at Madison Square Garden, despite the fact Paul Heyman said WrestleMania were only in the third inning. You think we're already literally heading into the eighth?
Let me answer that question, Noah, if I may.
Go ahead.
Just because we were in the third inning at WrestleMania doesn't mean we're in the ninth inning now. The story doesn't necessarily have to be about the title and Cody Rhodes. The story is about the greater bloodline story. Mm-hmm. We are in the third inning as far as that story is being told. Some innings are shorter than others, 3 up, 3 down. Some innings you can go through the entire lineup and then some before you get your 3 outs. It took us 3 years to go through 3 innings. We may have just gone through 4 in the last couple of months. 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down.
And bases loaded. All right.
I have a feeling WrestleMania 40 will be the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, But who hits the home run or the grand slam needed to finally end the game?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure we're going to smell what he's cooking when we get there.
Maybe.
After all, that was the location of his very first WrestleMania main event.
I didn't even consider that.
In a city famous for putting Rockies over.
Yeah.
In
They're
the
like-
city of brotherly love, tying the
Ooh.
whole familial connection back to it.
Bam, 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 bam.
Dude, this again, we've all talked about it for 3 years now, off and on. This story is so epic that if it happened in any other point in the company's history, it wouldn't even be a question that it's the greatest story WWE's ever told. They're just fighting an uphill battle, fighting the Undertaker and Kane story that we've all come to know and love over 2.5 decades, because it was just so good between those two.
The difference is that was 2.5 decades on and off, on and off.
Exactly.
This
Exactly.
has been 3+ years consistent.
Right. It's very
The
much
only
comparing.
other storyline this consistent, I think, is Austin McMahon.
It's
Yeah.
very much comparing apples and bananas, and I understand that. But, everybody, including the two gentlemen involved, have said and have been told, those two gentlemen have been told, that their story was the greatest story WWE's ever told. And I can't argue with it as far as long-term storytelling. But this 3 years with the Anawahis has just been so special to watch. And it shouldn't even been a thing when it started. It just dropped and evolved right here in the little petri dish that we call the pandemic, and just completely expanded once the audience was allowed to expand again. It's just been so good to watch. And I love that every other graphic for this weekend, be it on WWE.com or the ones they show on television, all toe the same usual presentation line. But this match has its own. Look at that. That is movie poster shit right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's legitimate summer blockbuster. I'm going to go drop my 16, God help me, dollars to go see this movie. I want to go see this movie. This is one of the WWE events that I would drop AEW money for. I swear to God I would.
Well, considering, again, the story that is being told, and again, you really don't know which way it's truly going to go.
No.
I can't argue it. It truly is a family matter.
Yep.
It's going to be crazy. And this is a closing, which means because Roman Reigns, he either closes or he opens. He is never the middle person when he is involved. Keyword, he is involved in the match. All right? So the fact that Cody and Dominic are closing, this has to set the pace of the opener. That's crazy to think about.
See, I normally would agree with you that Roman has to open or to close, and especially with the way this is being written. And again, without trying to get too into SmackDown spoilers, if this does violate that edict, please, JJ or Noah, cut me off on this. Was it explicitly stated during the tapings this afternoon that Cody and Dominic is finishing the show?
I have no idea.
Did a WWE official, did a WWE graphic, did somebody on SmackDown actually say that?
I heard that.
Heard from
that-
who?
I heard that Michael Cole said when they were running down the Money in the Bank card that Michael Cole did say about Cody and Dominic main eventing tomorrow night, and I just found it on social media that it is going to be Cody and Dom eventing the show.
Was it
No.
WWE social media that shared that, or was it like a dirt sheet?
Well, okay. Well, hang on. Hang on. Let me just cut that off because we need to get a quick answer. If Michael Cole said it on SmackDown, it wouldn't be on WWE produced social media because they're not going to try to have spoilers before the show actually airs.
That's
If Michael Cole said it, I'll wait till they announce it during our broadcast of it on Fox tonight. But I just can't fathom this match doing anything but the last segment of the evening, even if Brock Lesnar's in an angle. I just can't see that being a thing. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Lord knows I'll acknowledge that shit in the morning, whatever. But this is this is the we talk about Roman
I'm
and
just gonna
Seth
put it
being
again
the.
when Jeff continues.
I was gonna say we talked about Roman and Seth, Roman and Seth being the the champions and the straws to stir the drink. This is the goddamn mixed cocktail that's being served to us for 3 years, and we're still enjoying the taste of it. We have to have this be the lasting memory as we leave London to head to Baltimore, to head to New York. It has to. Like I understand that Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar, but you know what? That phrase isn't even whole water anymore. Brock Lesnar's about Roman Reigns is fucking Roman Reigns. That's the way it is now. It's not just Brock's. He didn't have to be last or first or whatever. Roman Reigns is the guy in WWE right now. Period. End of sentence.
I acknowledge that.
Even if you don't like his current 3-year stranglehold, he is still the dude. He's the guy that is leading this charge, and I firmly believe that he has to finish this show.
Yes, JJ, before we conclude.
The only argument I see to counteract that, sir, is the fact that everybody is talking about, and this primarily goes back to the Orton thing.
Yeah.
How do you sneak him into the country with flying internationally? The way you do it is you have Brock, the talent's already in there for SmackDown tonight.
True.
Right.
So you have Brock on a completely different flight flying into Paris, France.
Right.
And then once the show begins or is about to begin, charter a private plane to bring him in, because by the time he then lands, everybody's already in the arena.
Okay.
And you can sneak him into the arena. But you don't do that if the Cody Dom thing is going to be the first half of the show. You've got to have Roman out there during that part so that you can sneak Brock in there once the show is already going.
That's fair. That's a fair sub-tangent.
Just to counter argue, play devil's advocate here,
That's fair.
No, it is. It's a fair take, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with it just for argument's sake, but I may sound like that in this case. I don't know if the right answer to getting Brock and Cody back on the same page in this battle is to sacrifice the guaranteed discussion generating story Sunday morning, Monday morning on our shows. Monday night going into the weekend. They're going into the week that they're going into the Garden. If Cody or Brock were the champion, no argument from me whatsoever. And even if they weren't, if Roman Reigns was champion, but he wasn't Roman Reigns right now, then I would be willing to back off of my argument. But I just don't see a viable, or I don't see a strong enough argument for Cody and Brock being the enduring memory leaving the show if it means sacrificing Roman's, the Anawahis being the main event, the last thing we see.
Right.
That's my only thing.
I understand that completely. I was just playing devil's advocate as to why.
No, I appreciate that.
And it's a very, very good counterpoint. But the bottom line, it definitely is the most polarizing, if nothing else, from who you think is going to eat the fall. Because again, it's almost a 4-way split as far as decision goes. But the majority do pick Sikoa will be the fall guy, which is hard to believe. Why second up is Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns at 23%. So this definitely is the first time I would say Roman Reigns might be his most vulnerable.
Oh, he's definitely
during his triumphant reign.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely the more vulnerable than he's been since he emerged at SummerSlam in 2020, without a doubt there. Jay, with your point about flying Brock in, yes, it's more likely that there will be a beast sighting. Throw him on a red eye. Brock can handle it. Throw him on a red eye. Sneak him in tonight.
Then
Wait,
you
wait,
still have
right.
to worry about him arriving at the venue with all the other talent and being spotted.
Well, but okay. Well, okay. If he's in town and he's, hidden, because we all know he's got a bus when he goes places because it's Brock effing Lesnar.
Right.
They keep him on his bus, and it doesn't have to be the bus we always see when he's traveling around the United States. Charter a British bus. It's Brock effing Lesnar, and then once everybody goes inside, run him into the building real quick. That way, if Cody Dom opens or it's a couple matches in, nobody needs to see him until that music hits and shit hits the fan.
At this point,
I'm gonna be a dick and stand on that. The Anawahis have to main event. The Anawahis have to main event.
At this point, I almost would put Cody Rhodes and Dominic as the Orbiter because probably like Bosia, get me the hell out of here, back to Canada.
Well, and that's the other thing. We were talking about this all week. If Brock doesn't finish, he's opening. Okay, so have him do that instead.
There you go. Like Roman Reigns, he either opens or he finishes. But right now, I think it's safe to say, and I probably speak for most of the WWE universe, I know I speak for the multiverse, the biggest thing besides the name of the gimmick itself going into the show tomorrow is Roman Reigns. Simple as that.
Yep.
But that being said, tomorrow awaits, and tonight awaits those that are spoiler-free like me, despite I don't have the channel. So I know you are going to get ready to enjoy SmackDown, enjoy what's ahead. Guys, it's been a pleasure. And thank everybody for tuning in. Before we conclude, let's go ahead and everybody find out do and plug and promote some stuff. Where can people find us? Chris, always a pleasure. Good luck tomorrow night. Again, guys, make sure you make your predictions final because based on SmackDown, I can see somebody at least changing something. Make them final on your form. And, of course, the link will be in the description down below. I already sent you all the link. And, of course, I'm going to be on all y'all's butts to make sure they're finalized, too. Chris, anything you want to plug and promote? And where can people find you, bro?
Well, you could put my social medias accounts.
This guy's
up.
the king of social media right here, for those that don't know.
You guys can find me on my Twitter, uppercase C, uppercase R-O, lowercase O-T-Z 24. My Discord is CRots2423. My Facebook is Christopher Rots. My Instagram is CMROTZ6472. My TikTok is Rots_2423. My Snapchat is C_Rots17. Those are all my social medias. So you guys can find me, hit me up, and I'm down on making friends. So, and I'm a positive person. So hit me up. It's always a pleasure being on the Simply Predicting panel. We got down with one event. We got 3 more events to come starting this month in July, because the next time
it's still June.
It's still June. I'm sorry, but next month, because the next time you'll be seeing us for a Simply Predicting panel won't be next week. It will be the week after, because we got 3 straight Simply Predicting panels that we're going to be doing. So the next time you'll be seeing us is on Friday, July 14th at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'm subject to change.
There will be or it might change, maybe schedules, whatever. We're going to be doing Impact Wrestling Slammiversary pay-per-view event. And then after that, we're going to be doing Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view event. That's on Friday, July 21st. And then we got on Sunday, July 30th, we got JJ Willems NXT, but not
my NXT!
But not Noah Foster's NXT. We got NXT Great American Bash. So we got 3 events in July. If you guys want to be on those Simply Predicting shows, hit myself up, hit Noah, hit Jeff Meacham, hit anybody up in the Simply Predicting.
Please don't hit me. I bruise easy nowadays.
And if you want in the predictions videos for one of those 3 shows, hit us up and we'll be happy to bring you along for the ride. It's always a pleasure. and I'm looking forward on coming back here next month to do Simply Predicting. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. And Noah, I would like to give us, when we go off the air, I want to do the final countdown. Is that okay with you?
First off, non-copyright, but you can do that.
Okay.
We have a singing thing we have to do anyway, JJ and I.
Besides, there's a singing thing.
We are mandated by the masses, unfortunately. And
Yeah,
plus,
right,
you don't
right.
have that. Me and JJ sobbing through the Undertaker song. We don't need that shit.
The price of y'all's dinner. There's not a super chat high enough for anybody to get Europe final countdown on here, son. I'll tell you that much.
And clearly, if Tony Khan can't afford it, we sure as fuck can't.
You're right. Anyway, thank you, Chris. Always appreciate you. Dwayne Atkinson, always a pleasure. Good luck, my friend. Anything you want to plug about, where can we find you?
There's nothing really to plug. You can find me at Twitter, Florida Gator Fan, or you can find me on social media at the name Dwayne Atkinson.
All right.
Like, share, and subscribe.
That's
Simple as that. I dig it.
simple as that. By the way, shout out to the three of you now and there. I see all your comments. Your opinions matter. On the fast lane of Money in the Bank, Randy or Drew returns. Usos, yeah. This should be a good build. Usos have to win the further the storyline. Just looking at some of y'all's comments, it's definitely going to be a very polarizing event, to say the least. And before I let good old JM plug his stuff, I do have that little last graphic here. So one last time for the American Nightmare. Happy birthday to, of course, Hood Every Roads.
Yes.
Love
JJ
it.
with the formerly grotesque Cody, and me with the 10 pounds of gold, because I love me the 10 pounds of gold, as we know.
And Sweet Charlotte,
yes.
as I still call it to this day. Though I still think Chris O'Donnell should be holding it.
Noah, I sent you another graphic. I don't know if it went through, so I will go ahead and talk until we get that. What the hell? Isn't this working? Jesus.
Oh
I
yeah,
love that
I
picture of
go
me
ahead
and
and
Cody.
let's see what I can do.
I love the fact that picture exists and that Cody couldn't keep a straight face. He tried. He fought it to the bitter end. And then one of y'all said something. He just chuckled just enough where we got the picture of him. He's chuckling. It's like, yes, we got him. That's tremendous.
Busted.
Totally busted.
Ah.
I love every bit of that day. That was a fun. And that was 2011 SummerSlam. So that was the summer of Punk that should have been more than what it was.
What it should have, what more of it should have been, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it was still fun. It was a great show, great night. That was Dylan's first WWE pay-per-view attendance ever, because he and his mom and I were up in the rafters with the banners, if you will, but we did get to see that show live.
Nice.
So that was a fun
And you were
night.
more sober than you were the year prior.
That wouldn't take very much to be more sober than the previous year, if we're being real.
That's a whole nother story for another Talk Wrestling, for sure. Speaking of, besides Talk Wrestling, the flagship, of course, of your podcasting and your wrestling coverage, good old JM. Anything else you want to promote? We can find you. Well, I'm also uploading this graphic.
Just what I sent you, my friend, because tomorrow is officially the kickoff of the expansion of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media.
Hey,
And-
Datilla.
Exactly. Datilla is joining the fray. May God have mercy on her soul. Greg Cherry's returning to us. May God have mercy on his and everybody else's soul, because we all a bunch of crazies. And we are all going to be, I still have to talk to Greg and Datilla about actually broadcasting this, but we are going to be covering Money in the Bank starting at 11 a.m. Pacific, because WWE hates us.
Right.
And 2 o'clock for the East Coast kids. The British folks get to have it at standard time because they're lucky like that. And by the way, shout out to our buddy SoCal Val, who was looking fine at the SmackDown tapings tonight. God damn. Anyway, and she will be at the O2 tomorrow as well. So there it is. Definitely covered on the Temperature Network, the Custody Studios, and the Simple Man brand, and the Jay Hebert side of things. We're going to talk to Greg and Attila tonight to see if they want us to go out across the entirety of the newly expanded multiverse. But starting next week, we're going to have every day in July, there'll be something on my channel alone, on JJ's channel for sure, because he's doing 31 Days Disney, because he's a crazy person as well. And it's going to be a fun month. And with my, you can take that out if you want to know, with my recent job development, it's going to be a busy month, whether I want it to be or not.
There you
Yeah.
go.
No.
Again, there's no days off when it comes to professional wrestling.
That's right. We are the Fred Rosser of the multiverse of medias. All
Of
of
course. But hey, we keep stepping, we keep going. Ah, man. Well, JJ, you and I, speaking of which, we are going to be going on air on the call tomorrow as well. But you've been doing some fun stuff too. So anything you want to plug up besides social media and besides here, where can people connect to find you?
Well, you can find me there, like the graphic shows, on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, on the Twitter at ROWJJ Williams, on YouTube, Casa D18 Studios. I know a lot of you guys are watching there right now. Thank you to those that have super chatted, those of you that have joined the members only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel. For those of you that would like to join, feel free to join the members only section of the Casa channel. It is only $5 a month, and you get all kinds of exclusive wrestling reviews and wrestling content. Beginning at midnight tonight, my review of WWE Capital Punishment will be going live. It was what it was. It was good on paper, not the greatest in execution.
Little
But
Jimmy.
you can listen to me talk about it there. I don't want to spoil it, give too much away. I want to give you a reason to join.
That's right.
And then over the course of the month, I will be taking a look at not my NXT, but whose NXT, Noah?
Oh, wait. It's quite simple, JJ. My NXT! Damn it!
That's right. I'll be taking a look at the Black and Gold NXT every consecutive Thursday, beginning with NXT From Secret to Sensation, followed by NXT Greatest Matches Volume 1, followed by the Best of 2017, and then wrapping the month off with the Best of NXT TakeOver 2018. I also have polls up in my community tab as to which Money in the Bank ladder match you want Noah and I to do a retro call of. I actually, when I put the second round up, I forgot to make it members exclusive. So I've got a little bit more votes on it than I was expecting. But as it stands right now, it looks like the final poll is going to be between WrestleMania 21,
Nice.
Yes.
2014,
Ooh.
the June 27th, 2017 SmackDown Women's rematch,
Oh, Lordy.
and the 2020 COVID year where the men's and women's Money in the Bank matches were contested simultaneously.
It's
I want
ours.
to let you
Unless
guys call
something-
all those.
Unless something drastic happens, those are the four that people are going to be able to vote on to see which one Noah and I call. So
Fair
we've
enough.
got all of that going on. And then, of course, we've got open mic night tomorrow evening. I'm still working. That was last week's graphic. I'm working on the
I know,
graphic
just get
for
on,
this
Kurt.
week.
Yes.
I'm working on the graphic for this week. I'm waiting until Money in the Bank is over to kind of finalize it. But, you know, we were talking about the Fatus and the Anoa'i clan earlier. Apparently, Jacob Fatu is in the news this week. So we will be discussing
Ooh.
his shenanigans on open mic night.
Ruh-roh.
Just one of the many topics that we will have. We will also be discussing, let me see here real quick. We'll
Give it
be
a tease.
discussing
For the Saturday night
the-
shenanigans.
the return of the Lone Wolf.
Yes.
We'll be talking about some Forbidden Door stuff, specifically Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay.
Yes.
And we'll be discussing the impending potential, should it come, heel turn of the EST of the WWE.
Ooh.
Something that's been discussed a few times on the show, but with
Right.
more and more rumors circulating this week about should they or shouldn't they, will they or won't they pull the trigger, thought it would be kind of good to get a little bit of women's conversation, since the two women's matches at the show this weekend are kind of lackluster, all things
Yeah.
considered. And then, of course, we'll have some Money in the Bank fallout.
Of course.
Yeah, but I've got to have Fallout. And of course, on the producers that tribe with the matches that are like, why? But yeah. All
And
right.
We always like to give the producers their flowers, especially if we can get the list
Yeah.
from a show happening this early in the day.
Yes.
So definitely going to do that as well.
And
I have
here's
a couple of
Amanda trying to
questions.
really open the forbidden door.
my
One and
God.
only dream.
I don't want Max to die. I like Max.
That's
Sorry,
So a
you
couple
said you had a
questions.
question. Yes.
Yeah, is there any way I can rig that Money in the Bank thing for a four-way tie? Because you guys calling all those matches would be freaking awesome. And second of all, capital punishment. Going back to that, you said it looked good on paper. Are you trying to tell me that something that looked good on paper in Washington didn't turn out to be okay?
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
And before we throw to Noah to take us out of here, as he always does on his own show, look at me taking the reins over like people sometimes do on open mic night.
And well, James more so than anybody else, but I get what you're saying.
Jeff,
But yeah,
Jeff,
because,
you and I have something we have to do.
oh God, yeah, all right.
If you other two gentlemen want to stay, you can. If you guys want to bow out, feel free. But yeah, me and Jeff have to do the Undertaker's You're Gonna Pay.
Yes, Dwayne, you got your hand up.
Got to go, guys.
All right, good night. Thank you both.
Good night,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
We'll see you
Take
next
it easy,
time.
Dwayne.
Yes, thank you, Dwayne.
How do you want to do this, Meech? Do you want
I
to
am.
alternate lines? That way we're not doing it at the same time.
Yeah, we can if you want. That's fine.
All right. I'll start it off.
Oh,
That
thanks.
way I can get the voice going. And we'll just go through.
Okay. If you're gonna do the voice, I'll go ahead and do the dead man walking part. Okay. There we go.
Okay, go for it.
Dead
Let's skip that part.
man walking.
You've done it now. You've gone and made a big mistake.
Okay.
I can't allow you to think you can just walk away.
Okay, I guess me too. So turn around and face the paper. Is it Piper? Wow, I've been wrong all these years. Piper, you're gonna pay, 'cause the end is now. It's gonna be your
judgment
day.
A
Oh,
cheap
God.
shot
This feels like
at
a
the
poem.
way that you play the game. I was blindsided, but things will never ever be the same.
Nice guys. It said they always finish last, but bad. God, this is so fucking bad. But bad asses always
Always
kicking
kicking
ass.
assholes' ass.
Oh my God, it's even worse when I do it. You're gonna pay. You're gonna pay.
All right, that's
That's enough
good.
of
I
that shit.
think
All right, you're good, guys.
That is
it's just
okay.
there on his phone.
It is. That shows you right there how bad that song is, and I say that because
Always
I
kicking
love-
assholes' ass.
yeah. Well, that line's just literally ass. That line is just pure ass. But the music of that song is awesome.
Yeah.
It's just the
you
lyrics
know
are
what-
just such trash.
You know what's worse than that line?
What's that?
Hangman Adam Page's Buckshot Lariat.
Damn.
Oh.
And the only thing worse
Stop
than that
me when I'm telling lies.
That's right. Oh,
Yeah, right below the
man.
belt.
It's
Noah.
it's
We've done our shills.
yes, we've done our bit for King and Country.
And God bless you all. Again, the Champion of Multiverse Media, one individual under many for all things wrestling. And Emmanuel Webb, and there goes the rest of the viewers.
And Jim Johnston, they can't all be winners, can they, Jim?
Nope. and to Emmanuel's
Oh,
point there,
gosh.
he's out of line, but he's not wrong.
You guys were better off seeing Eric Bischoff's fame.
We'll be back.
Well, you know what? Maybe
And
we'll make
then- No,
maybe we'll make that the
no
hook
free.
tomorrow. Maybe we'll
Okay,
make that the hook for open mic night. If we
I
can
ain't
get a
sitting
certain
down.
amount, we'll do that one.
I'll
Well,
lip sync that like Eric Bischoff did in the redneck contest with Stone Cold. You ain't giving saying that.
If we can get $100 on open mic night tomorrow, Noah will sing My World.
Oh!
Oh.
No, and nobody heard that, right? No one heard that at all, all right?
I
No one
heard
heard
it.
that at all.
For $50, Jeff and I will do Eric Bischoff's I'm Back. For $100, Noah will
God.
do My World.
Freaking $25 gold.
Gotta have
fee
a
for
tier
some other-
system.
For some other
That's right. Just like any other paywall and any other thing on YouTube.
And if we can price of my dignity with damn gum wrestling singing, what the hell am I going to sing $25? Dadgummit.
Hey, I would
Don't
sing.
get an idea.
Hey, I will sing $50 to CM Punk's Cult of Personality song.
I mean, I already did that on karaoke, so actually, I
Yeah,
don't
we did
mind
that karaoke right last time. Yeah.
now. Nice try.
We'll talk more about that one off air, I guess, Chris. There we go.
And what the
Okay.
hell are you all trying to do here? Oh my gosh. Great cross promoting. That's what it's cross promoting.
Yep.
Well, we'll see if anybody actually believes that shtick. But James isn't here to clip that either, so I think I'm safe. But we'll see what happens.
We can always flip it later. It's okay.
Crap!
Just remember, Noah. You have a week, and we still may get JJ believing in Joe Hendry. So. Yeah.
He will believe in Joe.
Oh,
no.
Look at Emmanuel's last comment there, Noah.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
My sister working right now, she feels the tingling of her skin mentioning about Noah singing. Ooh, there we go.
No. All right. No.
No, you will if we get the money, because why? It's JJ's world.
No, God, no, help me.
Well, I could say
Lord.
you could sing Aubrey Edwards' theme song, but she doesn't have one.
She doesn't have one. She's
She's retired at Want to Know, the chicken.
She's undefeated. She's no longer a competitor. All right. Let her be a ref with the utmost integrity. Let her continue to do her job the best she can. All right. Let's leave her away from the ring in a wrestling capacity. Let her do her thing.
I still have a worse thing to sing, but we'll talk off there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Always a pleasure. Again, folks, shout out to the entire CBD fan that hasn't been here. But of course, you never know who's on these panels. And they're just a fun, wholesome time to remind you why we are fans of this in the first place. Go check out the General. Of course, Jerry Slaughter. Check out his group Armbar, ARMBAR, exclamation point. Don't forget it. Check out Jeff Chadwick's wrestling group, Meltdown Wrestling League. He's doing his 5th season, I believe, which I'm a part of, and Chris is part of too. He also brought back his weekly podcast form, the Wrestling Roundtable. You never know who's going to be on that. If people want to know more about me, though, know this, for I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling, damn it! But I digress. So find me, if you wish to, on the Twitter and on YouTube primarily, and then Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to my entire ATW fan across the Twitter and our social media platforms. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you really don't have a way to keep up with the leaderboards. That's the primary source for that. But I put the forums there too and give you my live takes on all things wrestling when I'm watching stuff like NJPW, Ring of Honor, AEW, and Impact, just to name a few. I'm just going to say this real quick. Killer Kelly, Masha Slamovic, a match made in bloody combat. What a way to come together, too, last night. That was freaking awesome. You'll find also simple polls and simple updates and all prediction leads and content under my community tab as well on my simple YouTube channel. Appreciate James Heber for all the work he does and bringing personality to my content, which, again, I keep it simple. So God bless him. Also, stay tuned for me, James Owen Zero. You never know who's going to be on AEW Spark, A9 Conversation at All Things All Elite Wrestling Weekly. So stay tuned for more on that, as they're going to make sure I'm never going to retire from this nonsense, and I'm back in the host seat.
You'll never retire.
And never retire, damn it. Yeah, right. They're just starting. I'm just beginning. And speaking of which, of course, as I alluded to earlier, stay tuned for the Saturday Night Shenanigans that are open Might Night tomorrow night, where, Lord help my dignity and the price monetary-wise, there may be more karaoke ahead of Citizen Legend with Ringo Starr, who was only the drummer of the band, but yet we're singing the Beatles. And I still don't understand that, but I digress. And, of course, as Chris suddenly alluded to, the City Predicting, it is far from over. Stay tuned for the Summer City Predicting with Summerverse, Remember for Dishonor, NXT, Great American Bash at the end of the month. Yeah, that don't make no sense. SummerSlam, Impact WWE Multiverse United 2, Emergence, AEW All In, Payback, and, of course, AEW All Out, and more to follow after that. God, wrestling, can you give me a break? And, of course, me and the rest of Encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher, and Kuzo with 50 Derby Productions will be back literally next week with coverage and bracketology of G1 Climax 33, Born in the Ring. It should be quite an interesting conversation. And that's just some of the stuff coming up here in the short run, along with the Simple Take with Money in the Bank with me and JJ, possibly Jeff too. Stay tuned for that at some point after the holiday, if not on the holiday, because there's a holiday week coming up too. But as always, I'd like to conclude. There are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters, just fans with opinions, with this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to another rousing, engaging, off the rails at times, entertaining, conversation in all things wrestling here on Simply Predicting. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell as video goes live on demand on this channel or any of the channels on the Multiverse Media. Hit the subscribe button. I assure you our wrestling content, passion, creativity is not anytime soon. Super chat this man. Show him more love. You might get more sin. You might get more of this madness and nonsense with me at their mercy. So, again, give him a super sticker. Give him a super chat. Super chat, Cast 80 Studios. Super chat is as simple as that. For Dwayne Atkinson, who's no longer here and missed that madness, and hopefully missed that freaking challenge. For Christopher Rotz, for the man whose name's on the marquee for the entire Multiverse, Jeff Motherfucking Meacham, because we are way over that time limit. And for, of course, the Renegade of Relevancy at Cast 80 Studios, JJ Williams. I am your simple, humble host and voice of the JMN. My name is Noah Foster, bringing you once again for tuning in. So until next time, as always, enjoy SmackDown, enjoy Rampage, enjoy Money in the Bank, and then following that also Collision. Enjoy everything wrestling has to offer and make a positive impact in life and have a good night. And I don't think that needs to happen considering she was trained underneath him, and I don't think Earl Hebner could literally wrestle if he wanted to. Chris, before we conclude and the screen bids everybody a fine adieu, what is it you are trying to do?
Well, this is the final countdown.
No, not copyright, not copyright, damn it, not copyright.
We are out in 10, 9, 8,
Chrissy K.
7, 6,
If you close
5,
your eyes.
4, 3, 2, 1. Hit the music.